Hey guys, today I'm here to talk to you about my new Vincerow build. I'm gonna start off by saying that this is by no means a budget build. It's not meant to be a budget anything. I think Vincerow in its current state is something that you can aspire to build towards an end game. It's a skill that's very fun to invest large amounts of currency into, then have a very fun and effective way of defeating all end game, especially maps, but I don't really recommend doing buses if you're having a fast mapper, which I kind of consider in game. I don't think buses are too difficult to do. But quickly we're gonna go over what it takes to make Vinto feel good. Because if any of you have tried to equip Vinto level up about level 40 when you can buy it, it feels like absolute ass. I kind of compare it to spells like Blade Vortex, whereas when you just pick up Blade Vortex, it feels like ass. Like Blade Vortex is literally the worst skill in the game until you get some Unleash going, you get some more area going, and it's a little bit the same with the Vincerow. So let's just talk about what it takes for it to feel good. You need a lot of area of effect. What area of effect does for Vincerow is obviously area effect increased damage, but also how large the range of your Vincerows can hit. The more area you have, the more reach it has, and that's pretty good for the Vincerow. If it doesn't reach anything, then you need to be inside of the monsters to kill them, and then it will be bad. So let me just start by typing in area here. We have area on all our cluster jewels, and we pick up a lot from the tree as well. Get a little bit here, a little bit here. Also obviously these ones, and most of our area of effect comes from our cluster jewels. We literally have it on all our medium cluster jewels. And the second thing is you either need skill effect duration, but we actually don't need that because we're getting 11 power charges in my version of the build, and since we're using a badge of the Brotherhood Eminent, we get equals amount of power charges as frenzy charges, and when you have 11 frenzy charges, you get a lot of cast speed. And what that does is for us to channel the wind orb, it takes me about a second to go from 0 stages to 12 stages. So the channeling aspect is kind of like, you know, every 6 seconds you spend a second casting, and then you zoom, spend 6 seconds, and it feels really good. But before you get a lot of area from your cluster jewels and the nodes we pick up in the tree here, and you get those badge of the Brotherhood power charges turned into frenzy charges as well, it doesn't feel good. I did not level with this. I would not recommend anybody tries to do low level with Vincerow because it's just really bad. It's really bad. I did Armageddon brand. If you don't know how to do that, I would just look up a hollow palm. Hollow palm is super fun. You can do hollow palming. And right, how do I generate my frenzy charges? I have a frenzy charge and hit chest. I have Explodey as well. One thing that I didn't really plan on doing Explodey when I first started out with this build on my chest, but I saw it and I was like, yo, let's just try it. And oh boy, let me tell you, Explodey and Vincerow, this is just a tier 1 non-elevated Explodey. It feels like the old Explodey. Because we have so much area, the explosions just change like 4 screens away. You can clear so much at the same time with Explodey. And it feels more like 100% because, you know, every time the Vincerow goes near something, we just shoot a barrage of projectiles at them. And yeah, Explodey is pretty puggers. But that's what you need to make Vincerow feel good, right? You need to get at least 10 power charges probably. You need to get a badge of the Brotherhood. You need to get a frenzy and hit chest. And then, you know, I have some pretty crazy gear here. If you want to see the gear, I recommend you just take the POB that I will link down below, because I don't want to spend too much time on that. I think I spent 4 minutes talking about what I think is essential for it. There's a few things before we jump into some gameplay. Is if we look at the Ascendancy, I have Malediction and White Beacon, Rigid Rake, and Forbidden Power. But if you want to make this just a mapping character that can still do the Conquerors, and you want to explode it without spending too much on your chest, I think you can take away Malediction and add in Profane Bloom, because we get the curse and hit from our ring, right? And then you can get Explodey yourself, Profane Bloom. As you can see, we lose a bit of single target, but it's not really from this. It's because it takes away snipe. If I go into skills here and I click off Sniper's Mark, we're at 3 or 4.3, and now we're down to that number, right? So Malediction isn't the craziest damage number. It's literally just Sniper's Mark, which is only on single target, right? So this is what your number would be when you run around the maps anyway. Sniper's Mark is for single target, so taking away Malediction isn't that big of a deal, right? It's pretty much the same for your mapping experience. And it's still really good damage. Like you can do your Conquerors just fine without Sniper's Mark. And that's it, right? So if you want to try and fit in the Profane Bloom and you don't want to buy an expensive, like it's really easy to get a cheap frenzy and hit chest, right? It's just an option that you can get Explodey for pretty cheap, right? You just sacrifice a little bit of single target damage and not much else. Alright, let's jump in some gameplay. I prepared a Simulacrum. I would say about every 3 or 4 Simulacrums that die in the later waves, you just get one shot randomly. But otherwise, it's pretty good for that. In maps, any tier map, any difficulties, it absolutely smashes them. It's so much fun. I'm loving it. In a little under 4 days of being level 0 or level 1 to leveling it up, I'm level 98. I always play a lot, but dude, you're just cruising, dude. It's so much fun. And for your bosses, I included the Cyrus, but I mean, I have 4k HP with no life flash going into the Cyrus fight, so it's monkey ass. You can't do it, but if you hit level 98, you're trying to hit 99 or 100. I never recommend doing bossing on your mapping characters. You can if you don't give a fuck about XP, but I don't recommend it. Alright, I'm gonna play some clips from the other day in my Twitch stream, and I hope you guys enjoy. I'm having so much fun on the character, and I hope maybe you can make a Vintroper your own. I told you what you need, and dude, if you love it, let me know. Alright, enjoy the gameplay. Around 20 tunes. I watched my Betrayal video and see if that's something you think looks like fun. Because if you don't roll your maps too hard, Betrayal is really good money, my dude. Also, right now we're doing a showcase for the Winter Robe. We spent about 3 mirrors in the sky. And we're just taking him through the Simulacrums. We're currently in wave 19 out of 20. And I don't know, it's doing pretty good. There's always a chance of getting one shot, but seems like we survived this wave so far. It's a lot of good loot. I like that. Pretty normal canyon map. How do I crash my lava cluster? I probably bought it for currency, you know? How do you pull this up on a budget? I don't know. I haven't tried.
Ah, my favorite trespasser returns.
When I'm ready and not before.
We're start running until 2020. That's pretty good.
This time, you will find a night's madness strains away all hope. Choking vapors seek the living. Miasma spreads.
For budget version of this build, I think a lot of people have brought out some cool ideas, and I think you could go with a self-heal reversing effect kind of type of thing.
You will fall.
And then instead of getting freeze immunity from the occultist Ascendancy, you can get Profane Bloom. And then you have Explodey, right? Then you don't need to get Explodey just.
Ruin arrives suddenly.
So you know, if you just have Void Batteries, French and hit just self-chill in the build and the ring, I think is how it works. I've never done it.
Ruin surrounds.
You could probably get something really fun, right? But how much do you need to spend on your cluster jewels and your gems and all that stuff? That's I don't know. I haven't tried it, but
This is no longer
I'm gonna tell you what you need to
amusing.
do it, right? But I don't know exactly how cheap it's gonna be. I haven't tried, and I wouldn't call it cheap. It's probably gonna be relatively expensive, but that's just how in-game builds are, man. There are builds that do great on the budget, and then there are things like Winthrop that does great when you have a lot of monies. This is not a build I would do, but if I had low currency, right? It needs a few things to make it feel really, really good, but oh boy, it does feel really good once you get there, right? So I would consider it as an in-game build, definitely not like a budget starter version. I think this looks like fun. It should be something that you can save up enough currency over the league to then min-max and make it really good. I think it's a build that you can do endless upgrades on, right? To keep making it better. But it has a starting point. I don't know what exactly that is, but that's how I treat Vintero. Hey, Fimbo.
When I'm ready, and not before.
Alright, we're gonna run a beach now. Gun makes you go really fast. If you had a head under that is.
Your victories will not continue. You will fall to ruin. Choking vapors seek the living. Night's madness strains away all hope. Miasma spreads.
Can this build be made with budget stuff? That's a question I get a lot, and I'm just gonna answer you. I don't know. I haven't tried.
Arrives suddenly.
I have not tried.
Ruin surrounds you.
You can try.
You win again.
Hey, what's that? Reliquary key. I call this the scam key, dude. I never get anything useful out of it. I should really sell them, but I don't. I fall for the trap, and then I open it and I lose money. Relative to keeping it and selling it.
I need more mana.
Man. Not pretty, but it gets the job done. Not pretty, gets the job done. Agree to that? The dude is, you know, Cyrus. He fucking sucks. This is not monies. As you can see. I guess we'll just drop it right. Okay.